All right, what's going on, Coin Observatory? Thank you for tuning into tonight's Power Hour. As always, I'm going to start with Bitcoin and cover some altcoins and take some requests from you guys, our viewers. What's going on, Usman? All right, Christopher Spencer. Awesome. So we got people tuning in. It's been exciting, right? Past couple of weeks have been exciting. I talked about not shorting, or at least us not shorting back here in this whole range. It was a no short zone, and for good reason, right? There's been a few YouTubers saying, "Oh, it's coming down. It's gonna break support." Well, we had other ideas, and it seemed to have played out, right? And here, just looking at it in hindsight, it looks like there was a bit of a not so textbook head and shoulders on the chart, and it did reach that first target of a 10% increase, right? From that 10% neckline to the head and neckline to the target, right? So we saw that. Now, what's in store? What's next for BTC? Last week, I had talked about we wanted to see some support levels, some resistance levels get broken and then be tested to see if they can turn into support. And what's shaping up now is we had a 10% rally, which was great. And now we're going to see some profit taking. Ideally, I'd like to see 37.24 get tested, because that's going to be where this blue downtrend line, this blue resistance line is, right? You guys can see it now. So this area is going to be critical. The $37.24, $3,700, that needs to hold. A revisit of this price, right? And this is going to be a long entry zone. You're going to wait for the knife over here, and just set up some good longs, right? I don't think I'm going to short it right here, not until we get a confirmed short signal, but this is going to be a key area of interest, because this resistance line proved to be resistant several times, and we got to test it. If it turns to support, it's going to be really good for BTC. The title of tonight's cast is I got a target of 4,600, and if you guys are VIPs, you know what these lines are. If you guys are not VIP, too bad. You can try to figure them out. But I truly do believe, we were talking in our VIP channels, and I'd said if we get a close above this blue line, we're gonna get a run up to the orange line, right? And ideally, you know, based on this market cycle, which is being led by Litecoin, we saw LTC USD make quite the jump to its white line, right? Respectively, I don't think BTC can get all the way up to 5,100 right away. If this rally continues, and it's looking like it's coming in on really good volume, with an inverse head and shoulders here, a previous inverse head and shoulders here, trading above the previous neckline, a retest of the neckline, and if it goes bullish again, right, the next target's gonna be 4,600. I just pull up LTC USD so you guys can see what I'm talking about. All right. So Litecoin actually settled above its red line, below the white, and now it's actually getting ready to make another upwards move. And Litecoin had been leading this whole rally. We kind of talked about this. What's going on, Troy? What's up, Matt? So that's where my 4,600 BTC target is coming from. And you guys have questions on it, you have criticism on it, you think it's never gonna get there, you think we're headed back down, go ahead and drop me a comment in the chat, and yeah, let's see what you guys' perspective is. The fact that Litecoin's actually trading above the white line is really interesting right now, especially since BTC's having this little bit of a sell-off. All right, moving on to Ether. I'd posted on Ether being more bullish than BTC. I've spoken about Ether futures before Ether futures made news last week, and I believe we're seeing the beginning of the Ether futures run, because Ether futures are coming, right? They're going to be on CBOE. It's not hard news, it's soft news, but buy the rumor, sell the news. We saw BTC surge before futures, so we could see the same thing. When it's official news, probably got to sell it, because people are probably going to want to panic dump, and the chart's going to get crazy once the news is officially out. Let's go to Ether, BTC. I'll go over Bittrex. All right, now Ether's above our white line, right? A lot of our alts right now that we're trading, that we're screening for these big runs, like Komodo, Storj, ARK, Litecoin, they crossed this key area. It's a critical zone, and they crossed it, and now they're in an uptrend officially. We don't know how far up this uptrend will go, but back to ETH BTC, since the swing low, it's actually up some 21% on BTC since Bitcoin swing low too. In terms of USD gains, it's gained almost twice as much as BTC, if not more. So I still think ETH is going to be more bullish than Bitcoin in the near future. Let's go to ETH USD, and we did see this chart somewhat double bottom. All right, and it's trading above previous resistances, so ETH is still looking good. ETH is looking good. BTC to 5K. Randall Jones, welcome to the chat. So that's what I have for Ether and BTC, and yeah. So you guys know our bull targets. I'm gonna go right back to XBT USD. Nope, I think I was on the BitMEX chart. There we go. So we're looking for that 37.24, right? That's gonna be the ad zone. That's gonna be the long, if not long, zone on margin, just because it's that last resistance line that we got to come back down and retest before going back up. Not much, Randy. Not much. Just enjoying this rally. All right, moving on. Let's move into altcoin suggestions. So you guys have altcoins you want me to go over, give you my perspective. It's not financial advice, right? It's just my perspective and how we would trade them. Yeah, show me some alts. IOST and NPXS. All right, so NPXS, real quickly, I'm still long on both of those. It's still in this pennant. I still have my targets on it actually. This is the signal chart, right? So it's still doing this pennant. I'm looking for the breakout. It turns out there's some pretty good bullish news ahead. So they're doing an airdrop on March 10th, and so there's FA backing up this setup, right? And we're right below this white line that I was talking about earlier, which happens to be that white line on all my charts right now. And I do see a big rally coming for NPXS. You got a pennant. Price is right where it needs to be for a rally in terms of market cycles right now and altcoin cycles. And yeah, I mean, even if it does dip down, there's an airdrop coming, and it's actually like an airdrop for people that want to develop on the blockchain and not just, you know, get free coins. So, and I'll post a link to the FA and Saber nodes. Going over IOST. All right, had a signal in IOST, and it was long and open for a while, and now we're seeing this big leg up. And I was talking about, you got our magical white line, price closing above in terms of market cycle. It's actually making a push up. Might add we do have an RSI here. I don't see a bear div. I don't see any bearish divergence on the daily chart. Stochastics looking good. I don't see a trend at a reversal point either. It's at 24. This is looking fairly strong. So IOST is still open. Stick to the trailed stops and the signal. BTT, BitTorrent. So I haven't signaled BTT. I picked some up. I want to say like at 20 Satoshis just on that retracement, just to keep a closer eye on it. Not quite sure if that's a cup and handle. When things are so thinly traded in terms of price and not much price movement, you guys know I don't like signaling really cheap coins because the risk is huge, right? I mean, if this thing drops 4 Satoshis, you know, we're down 15%. And it could easily do that. So we're going to wait for a nice oversold condition before I signal it or I long it publicly with a big position. XRP. Are you talking about Numeri, Christopher? NMR? This would be one of the Bittrex only coins right now. So we're seeing a bit of like an extended flat or a flag. Not seeing this bear div play out. This is on low volume. Might come back and see a retrace down like 78.35, and then for a continuation to the upside. Well, you want you think of that token, and when you do, we'll figure it out. Going over fun. Oh, I got to ask about Holochain. Let's not miss that. All right, so we had a signal on hot. We profit took way back here. I'm still holding some of my tokens. I do think this thing is not done. At this point, there's no clear formation, right? It was a little bit of a descending triangle, but it's not trading like a descending triangle, right? That being said, when you have a descending triangle, it's supposed to break down, but the trend was strong. It's kind of like a flag, but the formation at the end of it was not looking very bullish. So it's consolidating sideways on the daily chart. Let's go to the 4-hour. I'd wait for another clean entry on hot. If long, I would stay long. I'm still holding some Holochain, and I'm running it with no stop because it's essentially house money. I talked about this when we made over 100% on this trade. I said, hey, this is all house money. So I took back what I had put in, and right now it's just house money in this trade, and I'm okay with risking that. Going over XRP. XRP USD was looking good for a rally. Even put out an XRP BTC margin call earlier, and it's not wanting to comply. After this series of red candles, which looked like it was going to be a bit of a falling wedge, and I was looking more like a 3 black crows, not quite the same size, but it's not looking very juicy. I'm going to continue to monitor the situation for VIPs on Ripple. XRP USD was looking very interesting. And let's go to the tether chart. And it actually played out with the entire market cap. It's just not outperforming Bitcoin right now. And here's the thing. Some of these market cycles, the most important part is outperforming the top performer, right? If you can, let's say Ether goes on 100% rally, if you can find altcoins out trading Ether, out gaining Ether, or out gaining BTC in an Ether or a BTC rally, that's when we're making those 2017 types of gains because BTC was going up in price and our alts were going up in BTC price. So we're making exponential USD gains. So the objective is to try to find tokens that are gonna, my objective in the market at least, I don't like to hodl for very long. So my objective is gonna be trying to find the scenarios that are gonna outperform the biggest movers, whether it's BTC or ETH. And Ripple is not looking to do that right now. Ripple likes to act as a hedge whenever BTC pulls back. And we're seeing a bit of a BTC sell-off, and we're seeing a bit of a direct correlation with BTC from Ripple. So I'd wait for that correlation to break. All right, I'm not sure if you're long it on margin or what you're thinking about on Ripple, or if you're just a big Ripple holder. Going over fun and RVN. Once again, looking at alts right now, I want to look at the daily chart, right? I want to look at the daily chart. I want to see where we are in terms of the magical white line. And the magical white line is very far away from fun right now. It was looking good for a rally. We should be stopped out. Let's just do one of those capitulation moves like Lumens did. And I don't think fun is quite as strong as XLM to do that and then rebound back. So I would hold off, or I'm not in fun anymore. I'm stopped out. Raven coin. Just dive into like a 240 real quick. Make sure I'm not missing a falling wedge. Might be looking at a falling wedge. But in terms of, I'll go back to what I was talking about with our white line. Altcoins that are closing above on the daily are actually making some nice strides, right? So on fun, there's a falling wedge, right? Would we attempt to long it? I mean, it's up to the trader. The risk on this one, if it breaks out, right, might not be very much from here. It could be done on like a 5-6%, so might be an entry. Volume on it's 106 BTC on Binance, so it's still like pre-breakout. I'd wait it out. All right, going over, I said Raven and Troy. I'll go over your coins. I'll go over Neo and Aggie. All right, so the Raven situation has sold into a hodl. I had some house money still in RVN, and now it's back down to below entry. But we made 280% on this trade. Putting in, you know, some house money on a hodl is not the worst idea. I didn't think it was, for me at least. And just kind of waiting this one out. Can't believe it's right back where it started. I'm not gonna try to make a wedge out of a chart. If it doesn't comply, it doesn't comply. But it looks like it's also doing something that fun is doing, right? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, several touches of this wedge, so we could be seeing it wanting to turn around. There's some big fans of Raven, right? And very well respected people in markets and tech. So yeah, speculation is going to be high on this token. We did see a massive speculative run, right? Kind of like a huge bubble run, and now it's back down to Binance listing. All right, we got Wax, Mana, and Polly. I'm going to cover Aggie and Neo for Troy on Facebook. Right away, I'm just going to go to the daily chart because I want to see where we are in terms of white line. Prices above the white line, that is good. It's really good. There could be an MDRP, which is going to be a mid-range RSI divergence here. So theoretically, this would be headed upwards, right? Theoretically. Moving averages on the daily kind of gave us sell signal up here. I don't think I have an open signal on Aggie. And then we're seeing a little bit of rejection on the day. Let's go into a 4-hour. What do you see, Troy? It could be doing a pennant. But the apex is so far away. Trend on the daily. So the trend is going really low. So there's no trend, right? Like trend's breaking down. It's down at 12 on the ADX. RSI or stochastics up there. No verdict. There's a little bit of a hidden bullish div in the mid-range, but it's still no verdict. It's not like a breakout trade or... All right, Neo BTC. I was expecting a bit of a capitulation run out of Neo, where I was expecting more of a sell-off over here. We've seen that with Neo over and over, where it does these fake rallies. It's actually looking pretty good, right? You got this bit of a bit of a bull flag here, maybe a cup and a handle, and a bull flag right below our white line, right? This is looking good, right? There's a bull flag right here, and if this thing can stay a bull flag, it's kind of a smaller one on the intraday, and there's also a cascading one right below it, right here. All right, now it's gonna be the flag. This is the flagpole comes down, another flagpole. So two cascading flags, conservative targets. Right, we can go pretty far up. So if we hit T2 on this one, then we're above the white line, right? Once you're up above the white line, we're gonna see the chart come back down, trade below the white line for a bit before it takes off. I'm just gonna demonstrate ARC briefly. Right, so or maybe Komodo. Right, so we want a profit take on the first breach of the white line and see the next time we get in a rally, then we can take it on an extended run. As for the extent of you know what's going on with this white line, what kind of rally can we expect? I'm gonna show you something interesting. It's kind of like a bonus feature. So typical breaches of this white line. How about this? Let's do it on TradingView. Let's go to Alright, so theoretically, a break of this white line can set the market cap into an extended run. And we've seen that happen a few times with a little bit of a fake out back here in the early, as of May 2016. But we saw this type of behavior from the market in March of 2017, right? And we saw it again in December 2017. So whenever I'm telling VIPs, hey guys, just brace yourselves, alt season's coming, it's because it is, all right? We had a couple of trades get stopped out, or several trades got stopped out, but they still rallied really hard. So like looking at Store J, which was one of the tokens that we got stopped out on, right? And then it hit all 4 targets and then some. KMD, ARC. So all season is coming, and timing some of these entries is going to be tough, but it's actually happening, and we're seeing the beginning of it just now. I was asked by VIP the other day of why I had a bullish bias on BTC when it was still pre-breakout, went on that first bull flag, and I was telling him, hey, look at the market cycle, right? I wrote about BNB, Binance Coin, rallying that 60% gain. It's on Medium. I'll put a link to the article in the comments. And the BNB rally pretty much told us that BTC was going to rally because that correlation was back, right? And then BNB made another leg up today, which is interesting. BTC is pulling back, so you might see a second wave from both of these happen. Going over Wax and Mana and Poly. Boom. Wax looks good, right? We got a bull flag. We're right at my white line. This looks solid, right? I haven't checked on the FA on Wax in a while. I know they did their airdrop. I know they've got partners and stuff, but I haven't really looked at the FA on some of the gaming tokens. A little bit of a doji here, which tells us there's going to be indecision. But a close above this, our white line is going to send this off to hit future targets. So overhead targets on Wax are going to be 1331, 1590, 1841, and 1992, right? If you want to take a screenshot of that. Ash, I see your question on Discord. If you look through my notes, you'll know what the white line is. I'm not gonna show it publicly. You guys are privileged, right? So being a VIP, you gotta get privileged access to stuff, and we're not just gonna give away white lines. That's why we call it the white line. Going over Mana. Mana's looking good, right? It went on a little bit of a run, pulling back. I'm not a big fan of this pullback right here. It's pretty far away from the white line, right? But one thing we know, Mana is somewhat like we're gonna call Mana the leader in VR, right? It's like the leading VR tokens. It and Vibe. Now Vibe's actually starting to compete. We put out a signal on Vibe the other day. But Decentraland's already established. So Mana is pretty strong. It's hard to devalue digital real estate. And you guys see me in strong FA and TA or strong FA tokens. I'm always buying the Mana dip. Especially when it starts breaking past resistances, right? So usually it's like my first buy, second buy, so first buy, and second buy right here, third buy, and just kind of scale in a Mana. It's just time and time again proven to be strong, especially as a hedge. I made us over 1,000% during the bear market, so I believe Mana's solid. Let's look back at Lumens, right? These are going to be tokens that are going to be exception to the rule, to the white line rule, where price is compared to our white line. So if you go to Lumens Bitcoin, yeah, XLM's pretty far, right? But once again, XLM as a partner, as an IBM partner, it's a really strong token. I didn't see a reason for this massive devaluation. Now we're seeing volume increasing. So these are going to be like buy the dip tokens instead of brace yourself for the breakout tokens. Thanks, Christopher. Going over Poly. All right, Poly's diving. All right. Let's go to Bittrex. I believe it's been on there for much longer. Poly's testing all-time low. I haven't seen anything. So Poly's supposed to be a platform for listing securities as currencies, as cryptocurrencies, and I don't know if I've lost faith in Poly or the industry doesn't need Poly anymore or what's going on. But I haven't really kept up with their FA, but nothing strong has come across my desk, right? It's not like I see Poly make headlines. I haven't done, like deep dives into it, but it hasn't shown me momentum, and so there's no reason to really dive in. Kind of like NPXS, we get a nice setup. Let's figure out what's going on versus Poly's in a sell-off. Yeah, doesn't look like Mana or Lumens. It's just I would wait. I don't think Poly's ready. All right, going over Dent. All right, stopped out. All right, we thought Dent was gonna rally. We had a pretty good indication of closure above the white, but didn't quite happen. Did not quite happen. It could be a little bit of an RSI failure swing here, as price is at previous lows, and RSI is just a little higher low, but I don't see any tradable formations. The breakout failed and it got rejected to the downside. Yep, nothing. All right, guys. Got about another 30 minutes left, so show me some altcoins, and I will cover them for you. Zilliqa. Zilliqa was a strong contender, right? It was doing really good. Let's go to the daily. It's doing fairly well. Entered a sell-off. Let's right away just fib it. See if we're at a 61.8 or 78.6. What's going on with this retracement? It's right below the 61.8. Price getting back above the 61.8, especially after these big wicks, would trigger a long entry at like 483. And so I'm setting the alerts for the trade because I see a trade setting up. So price breaking above that 483 mark would trigger me to long it with a stop at the 443 or maybe like 439. Especially with the current market conditions, we're pretty close to this white line, right? Close above 525 can set Zilla up for a big rally. It's currently trading below this resistance zone, but then overhead, there's not a whole lot. And we saw this big volume candle yesterday, but price didn't move. So this is interesting, right? This is a BTFD moment looking at Zill, especially being right below 61.8 and setting up on that high volume. All right, going over power. Boom. Settling above the white line. We want to see continuation here. This could go sideways for a bit, but we do know that momentum is to the upside. Right? We don't see a bearish div on the daily. Trend is at a 31 and rising. I don't think 31 is a turning point here. Let's go to 240. So bullish on power. I am. All right, fam. Hit me with a couple of more altcoin suggestions. Data. This is an interesting chart, right? We're looking at, you guys know like swing trades or like momentum trades, and there's another type of trades, and they're called range trades. All right, so if we look at data, is it in the bottom of the range, right? If somebody wanted to range trade it, do we have 3 touches? So if we neglect all this price action, we do see 1, 2, 3 touches. This looks like a dragonfly doji on the daily, so this could be setting up for a range trade where one could buy support and sell resistance. All right, and you're not gonna have your traditional 4 targets here. You're gonna have one target of 32%, and the stop loss would be right below this doji. This doji wasn't on high volume, right? And that's why it's like it's misleading. Wait for a volume confirmation. So there's a range trade setup here. Risking is 5% to make 32. It's a possible play, right? And we've seen this range play out time and time again. Or we can wait for an actual formation that it's going to break up. So I'm going to go into smaller time frames. Did we cover ADA and IOTA? I'll cover both ADA and IOTA, and then some, because I wrote a nice article on ADA last week saying, you know, the potential for the play. So here we're seeing a descending broadening wedge, right? So this is a long, right? This says long here. So there is a reversal formation at the bottom of the range. So this is looking good. This is looking good. If you guys are live, like, consider this a signal on a 5% stop. All right. You got YouTube fired up. I'm pretty excited. You got a lot of requests coming in. Yo-Yo TRX. Rick G, the white line is a VIP special only. Only our VIPs with access to Saber Notes get access to the white line. Yo-Yo. All right, so we had a signal. It's right back at entry, right? Signal's still drawn out. On the daily, it's looking strong, right? The odds of a sustained rally. Look at that. All right, so we want to see this area turn into support, and if it doesn't, one can stop out a little early. But I got some big targets on Yo-Yo. I do. TRX. All right, pulling back. This is one of the tokens that rallied. This was like a December rally that kind of maintained high. I see more down. All right, we want to see 50% retracement. I might come back here and retest this flag, this previous breakout zone. I don't see anything that's saying Tron's going to turn around right now. Absolutely nothing. You know, moving average trader would have gone out right here. Yeah. We longed this on margin for, I think, like, I was traveling a lot in December. Cam made, I think, some 1,400% on this trade. to the upside. All right. There's 1.6 Bitcoin trading volume here, which is not a lot. It's very little. We did see an attempt to reach our white line on a rising wedge breakdown. Little bit of a bear flag. There's no volume. This is a little bit of a bear flag right now. I wouldn't long this. Not till it gets back up here. All right, Ignis. All right, if it's far away from my white line, there is no swing trade. But what do we see? Is there a range trade? Possibly, right? It's been trading in this range. But do we see reversal formation? I'm not gonna take one of these wedges. I'm not gonna do that. That's I think Ignis is bound to break down. Unless there's like an upcoming Binance listing. Because this one's like an Ardor fork, right? It was Ardor and NXT that created Ignis. I remember holding NXT, or is it NXT or NXS and Ardor for the actual airdrop, and then selling right, a couple weeks before the airdrop for 1,000% gain in 2017. That was a good play, right? But then Ignis has been in a downtrend. Ironically, I think Ardor might look a lot more interesting. And ideally, you want to be looking at higher volume tokens right now. Looking at a token with like 1.6 BTC that's just on one major exchange. That's not good. All right, going over ADA and IOTA. So I've got a paper on ADA that's published on Medium. There's a link to our Medium in the video description. So make sure you check that out. ADA is we've got our first couple of kisses of the white line, right? We failed to close above. My play here is I'm long on ADA until further notice, because I do believe this is heading up, right? If we get close above our white line, we're gonna be in good shape. ADA is gonna be in really good shape. IOTA was looking good for a white line, right? It was looking very good. Maybe not. We're seeing a doji. Other moving averages look decent for a return and up to the upside. Fib levels back at the 61.8. Price needs to maintain. It needs to stay up here. Am I getting indication that it is? Is there a bullish divergence here? So stochastic is coiling at the top. This is healthy, right? It's not like up and flat. Came up, came back down, climbed back up. The trend, the ADX, is going sideways, which I don't like. But bounce off 78.6 is typically not a good sign. But when we're in an extended bear market where things are just selling off, we're gonna see those further retests of lower fib levels. Anyway, so in maintenance of this, if I could short this, I'd likely short it with a stop up here, thinking it would come down and then along the 71.6 again. So the range trade is really tight, right? Support and resistance. It did close above resistance. I'm going to highlight. It did close above resistance, trying to stay above, retesting this for support. We'll take it back up. If this fails, head back down for the range trade. And the next pick me up price is going to be a 70.74. All right. You guys have any more questions? Any more altcoin suggestions? No, you can't find out what the white line is. Anyways, in more interest in interesting news, so our altcoin trader bot, it's the functionality is there. We're still debugging. We found a bug yesterday that we had a stop come back down after being trailed from T2 down to T1. So we knocked that bug out. And the user interface, I posted some teasers on it on our Facebook page, on the Coin Observatory Facebook page, and our Discord. So make sure to check those out. We're doing a name the bot contest, right? So whoever gives us the best name for our altcoin trading bot is going to get a 3-month VIP subscription for free. So make sure you head to that page, to our Coin Observatory Facebook page, and submit your name for the altcoin trader bot. It's actually really this bot's kind of for everyone, because what we decided to do now, take it a little different direction, so the user can even input their own trades. Let's say you want to enter a chart with your entry, with your own entry, your own stop, your own targets, and you want it to execute with discipline, as in scale out at T1, scale out at T2, scale out at T3, scale out at T4, then implement a trailing stop while trailing your stop every time you scale out. Like it will actually do all that trading for you. So you can enter your positions, right? And walk away. And if it hits the stop, you're getting stopped out. And if it's hitting your targets, you're profit taking and your stop's going off. So it's really going to add that discipline to execute a trade while you're not even there, right? So it's going to add a couple of layers. You still got to figure out a good name for it. So make sure you can comment on this video too. We'll count those comments. Anyways, thank you all for tuning in. Make sure to join us in Discord. And yeah, happy gaining. Let's see this rally continue.